Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Season 12 is not too far away with Season 11 winding down with our last couple of days. I hope you guys have all had a fantastic season. The Nateson account is going to end up finishing in very low Grandmaster, which I'm okay with, and we're going to talk about some of the new things to look forward to. So for Season 12, you probably saw we just got a new PTR update that not only includes an entirely new map called Busan, which is a King of the Hill map, and it looks fantastic and it's beautiful. Not only do we get a really cool King of the Hill map, also we finally got a huge fix for Reinhardt's Earth Shatter. After years now of getting knocked down in midair from the Shatter, after getting knocked, going through shields, they're finally getting fixed. So that's already a plus in our quality of life for next season that we can look forward to. But also, let's talk about how Season 11 went. We are coming out of Season 10, which I have discussed on the channel is perhaps the worst season and, in my opinion, is the worst season in the game's history. The reputation of Overwatch, do you remember that video? Season 10 was the worst season we've ever had. So immediately after with Season 11, all of the eyes fell on the community. Is this season going to change the state of the game? Because things were looking down. Season 11 was a phenomenal success. If you look at my career profile, the hours I've had in every season since like Season 4, I've only had 30 hours in competitive per season. I used to have hundreds, but now Season 11, I had 100 hours. That's because the game felt fantastic, and there's a reason why Season 11 was such a huge success. And number one, the primary factor in all of these seasons that were ever good being good... Okay. The primary factor in the season being good is when it feels like every hero is playable. That's exactly what we just had. And even though Brigitte, as broken as she is, especially against Tracer Genji, people still pick their mains, and if they were Tracer Genji players, they were still able to play it and were figuring out how to play around her. While still difficult, still doable. And another thing I think you are all going to be looking forward to is the fact that it seems to be we're getting out of this Zarya and Hanzo meta, where every single game you have to have Zarya and you have to have Hanzo. You'll still see them a lot on the ladder, but nowhere near as much as the beginning of Season 11. So now, I remember I was going to tell you something. There was one hero I started to see in all of my games towards the tail end of Season 11, and this hero that I was going to predict is pretty much going to be the face of Season 12. I forget its name. Maybe if we talk about the sponsor of today's video, it'll jog my memory. Massdrop is the sponsor of today's video, and I've partnered with them to talk to you about the Massdrop and Sennheiser PC37X. Massdrop listened to the community, took their input, and worked directly with Sennheiser to make this pair of headphones. Massdrop works hard to both ensure comfort and quality are combined perfectly. So if you're on a journey to rank up to high elo in Overwatch, you need to make sure that you're comfortable while you're doing it. With a sturdy noise-canceling microphone, an adjustable headband, and the most comfortable velvet earpads you've ever felt, you'll be feeling like a king and gaming like a pro. You're able to get incredibly low prices because Massdrop has tight relationships with brands, and so you should go into the description and follow the link to see more about the PC37X. That did it. I remember the hero. What I want to tell you is that towards the tail end of Season 11, debatably kind of midway through it, this started to happen. Why did Doomfist start showing up in every single game I played? Guys, I pride myself in being a YouTube channel that is outside the sphere of Reddit, Twitch, other YouTube channels. The whole purpose of Nateson here is to play a lot of Overwatch and to show you what I'm seeing in my games. This channel is built to be completely genuine, and all predictions I make are based off what I'm frequently seeing. In my matches, I am seeing a lot of Doomfist. Now, this could be encouraged with the uptick of Brigitte's in game, just since her release. She's just still a broken hero that a lot of people are playing, because Doomfist seems to do pretty well against her, and he does okay against Hanzo as well. Why is Doomfist in every single game all of a sudden? That is my major thing that I want to let you know going into Season 12. You should probably be expecting a lot of Doomfist. Or if you want to get ahead of the curve, go ahead and start practicing him yourself. You know, isn't it kind of weird that all of these really big DPS streamers are suddenly naming their streams Practice and only picking Doomfist? Looks like some people are starting to catch on to something. But as well, going forward with Season 12, another thing we got recently was the Looking for Game system, and we've talked about this before. LFG, when you're in Master and above, so let's just cut it, 3,500 and up, no one uses the system. It's gotten to the point where you're waiting a long time to find a game using the system to God, well, you're gonna be waiting hours to find a game. If you're in what would be considered like average elo, so if you're around the gold and platinum area, you're probably able to find games because there's so many people playing there. But the problem here, when you're playing, and maybe even in diamond, but I've seen those on the lobby queues, if you're playing master and up, you're gonna be waiting an incredibly long time, to the point it doesn't even make sense to wait to find a match. So we're at the point, the system basically doesn't exist for your high elo players, and that's okay with the player base issues, just the fact that it's like the top 3%. And so going forward with season 12, since nobody at higher, like your top 3%, since nobody there is using the LFG system, I wonder if Blizzard is going to start adding some sort of incentive to use it. Cliff Tyrios made a video talking about, different motivations to do things in game as well, which was good. But is there any chance that we could get an incentive for using the LFG system to pump players back into using that? Because that would be really nice, and I think that's something that Blizzard is going to start exploring soon. Also, let's talk endorsements, my season 11 experience with endorsements, and going forward, what we can see in season 12. So assuming that the system remains exactly the same way it is now, in season 12 we're going to see the same amount of XP level 5 endorsements. At least players that really only play competitive like me. You see, in competitive, there's this weird thing I picked up on after playing 100 hours in season 11, and that is no matter how nice you are to people, no matter how much you try to shot call, no matter how non-toxic you are, the complete opposite of toxic, if you lost the game, people will not endorse you. Time and time again, I will just play my heart out. I'll be in the team chat trying to make great callouts for the team and not being toxic or condescending to anybody. If we lose, everybody is so salty they don't even bother endorsing. And it's dumb because you get 50 XP for an endorsement. It's basically like people are so mad that they lost, they're willing to shoot themselves in the foot and not give themselves XP just because they're mad. But that is something weird I've seen, and so it gets to the point where you need to be as the only people that are able to hold high 4s, and I've never even seen a 5. The only way that it looks like you can do it is if you're farming things like Lucio Ball, the different arcade game modes, quick play, maybe if you're talking, to where a whole bunch of people are just always endorsing no matter what. It seems to be a completely different mental mindset. Yeah, that made sense. It's like a completely different psychology behind the winning and losses, whether or not people will endorse, compared to competitive. So I don't know if Blizzard wants to do some tinkering, like maybe you don't have an option to endorse on loss, which I know makes no sense, but the thing is, something is wrong with the psychology of players in that they will not endorse if they lose. And so basically for me, who spent pretty much the entire season in between endorsement level 3 and 4, if I'm winning games one night, and by the way, I'm acting the same wins or loss. I try to shot call, I'm always nice to other players. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I never go on a streak of just getting toxic, and I'm never even inherently toxic in a single game. The problem is, if I'm winning games a certain night, then that's my chance of holding XP level 4. If my games just end up being losses a certain night and I'm still not even toxic, we go back down to 3 because no one endorses. That is my experience in competitive that I'm just letting you know, and the Blizzard team, if any of you watch these videos, I think a few of you do, that might be something to look at. Just the basic psychology of why people aren't endorsing in losses in competitive. With me trying to be really helpful to my teammates in game, if we win, I'll get 2 or 3 endorsements. If we lose, it's 0 and sometimes 1. That's the trend pretty much throughout all of my games. So I'm here to tell you that Season 12 is looking to be a banger. The season is looking really promising going forward, especially after the successful feel of Season 11. Competitive seems to be in a great spot, and all these little changes that Blizzard is making, like yes, we've seen the videos about the Hammond pile drive bug and all this stuff, and Blizzard knows and is going to be working on it and fixing it, with the Reinhardt bugs, with his Earth Shatter getting fixed as well, and all the little things in between. Season 12 is looking to be good. I hope that no major reworks are introduced that make the game unfun. Hopefully this secretive Torbjorn thing behind the scenes is okay, but I have trust in Blizzard and I think we're going to be happy with what they come out with, but let's see what they have when they release it. Take care everybody. See ya.
This Ryan's gonna get outplayed by the 180 sleep dart. You shouldn't act surprised, chat.